Straight ahead on News Channel 5 this morning, Iran's supreme leader is dead and strikes against the country enter day 2. We have the latest on this ever-changing situation.
Although it's difficult, I think it's necessary.
And Iranians living here in Nashville share their fixed feelings on the tense situation in their home country.
Keeping you safe, informed, connected. This is News Channel 5 this morning.
So we start with the latest in Iran, where strikes all over the Middle East enter day 2. Iran's supreme leader is dead and the capital is under fire. Smoke can be seen billowing from the city of Tehran. Our Eric Pointer has been following this story since we brought it to you as breaking news yesterday. He joins us now live with the very latest in this. So Erica, we're now hearing Israel is striking targets in the heart of Tehran for the first time. So what's the latest that we're learning this morning?
Yeah, Tony, this situation is escalating fast with more strikes happening overnight and with violent protests spreading beyond Iran's borders and they turning deadly thousands of miles away. Now, Israel says that its Air Force has now struck targets in the heart of Tehran for the first time since the bombing campaign began yesterday. The strikes come after President Trump announced that Iranian supreme leader was killed in a massive U.S. and Israel military operation. Sources say that about 40 Iranian officials are also believed to have been killed. President Trump says that the heavy and pinpoint bombing will, quote, continue uninterrupted throughout the week or as long as necessary. Meanwhile, violence is spreading beyond Iran's borders. Hundreds of protesters stormed the U.S. consulate in a major port city in Pakistan, leaving at least half a dozen people dead and 20 more injured. And that's according to a local rescue service. Police say that the protesters have since been dispersed and the situation is now under control. President Trump is calling on Iran's military to put down their weapons and calling on the civilians to overtake and control the government. Now, we'll be watching closely to see how this progresses and what Iran's response is as this continues to develop. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you, Eric. And of course, the attack on Iran is disrupting flights across the Middle East and beyond. According to the AP, countries around the region have closed their airspace, and key airports that connect Europe, Africa, and the West to Asia were directly hit by strikes. Closures have stranded tens of thousands of travelers all around the world. Meanwhile, lawmakers here in Tennessee are weighing in, many in support of the administration's decision to launch those strikes. Governor Bill Lee says President Trump is right to hold the Iranian regime accountable. Senator Marsha Blackburn added it was time to end the regime's reign of terror. And Representative Justin Pearson took to the other side, making a push for a resolution to stop the conflict. He says Trump is waging another war abroad with no legal authority. Tennessee's lone Democrat Congressman Steve Cohen saying something similar. The American people did not vote for another war in the Middle East. But many Iranian Americans are viewing this move as positive for the country. In February, worldwide protests showed support for the people of Iran, including here in Nashville. Some of the same people returned yesterday, waving Iranian flags in celebration at Centennial Park. And one of the people there was Naveed Mokhtari, an American who was born in Iran. He explains the 47-year conflict is the reason that he and others left their home country.
In my country, I would have not been able to say I'm not practicing religion and I'm not a Muslim. If I would declare that officially, they could have hanged me.
Now, he says it's reached a breaking point where freedom cannot be obtained without a complete overthrow of the government in power. He and others say they're hopeful for the country's future. And as strikes continue, the future of the country remains uncertain. But we're committed to bringing you the very latest on this ever-changing situation. Just go to our News Channel 5 app, or you can go to our website at newschannel5.com. All right, let's switch gears now to the weather. It's been a great weekend to get outside, but the nice weather is not here to stay. Let's bring in News Channel 5 meteorologist Henry Rothenberg to break down the forecast for us. So yesterday was a dream, and now we're talking about colder conditions today.
Yeah, temperature is about 10 degrees colder today, Tony. Still above average, but just not flirting with record highs like we did yesterday. Let me show you our weather headlines as we make our way through this Sunday. Cooler, but still mild, as we will be about 5 to 7 degrees above normal. Rain chances returning tonight, and on and off rain chances for much of the upcoming week. Beautiful view from Skycam right now as we await sunrise, and that sun to make its way over the horizon. 45 degrees north-northeast wind at about 3 miles per hour currently here in Music City. 45 down in Murfreesboro, 42 in McMinnville. Tullahoma's at 42, 43 in Winchester, and 49 degrees rather down in Fayetteville right now. I'm going to expand the view for you, and you can see that there's nothing too crazy temperature-wise. Yeah, it's colder to the north. That northerly flow is going to add to the cooler temps today, but again, still above normal, just not mid-70s. We do have a few returns that have been shown up on radar, but they are falling apart as the droplets go from the cloud base to the ground. Through the day, 64 degrees. Those rain chances are going to pick up, though, tonight, Tony. We're going to time that out for you in much more detail coming up.
All right, thank you, Henry. A civil rights activist was honored and remembered as Reverend Jesse Jackson's funeral procession passed through Nashville. Now, Jackson died last week at the age of 84, leaving a legacy of advocating for racial and economic equality, building on the work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. With decade-long ties to our area, his son, Illinois Congressman Jonathan Jackson, reflected on the work that his father did to change the country. He said it's up to this generation to continue that work.
So I'm so excited to see all the progress, the growth in Nashville. And thank you so much for honoring my father, his memory, his work. And now it's up to another generation.
Now, Reverend Jackson will be buried tomorrow in West Columbia, South Carolina. A public service will be held at Brooklyn Baptist Church starting at 5 o'clock that evening. Now, Jackson's final visit to Nashville also lands at the end of Black History Month. Through February, there's so many events, and although the month is over, there's a final chance to celebrate at Day 2 of Nashville's annual Black History Month Expo at the Fairgrounds Nashville. Now, there you can find food, shopping, live music, and so much more.
What you will see today is vendors, games, installations, music, just a celebration of life and culture. We're living and breathing Black History Month 365, so to be able to, do it on the last weekend of Black History Month is just amazing to be able to give these businesses an opportunity and chance to uplift their business, but also to celebrate the culture at large.
Now, Day 2 of the expo runs from noon to 5. It is free, and organizers say get there early so you can find a parking spot. Still to come on News Channel 5 this morning.
It just doesn't even register. Those words are just so far removed from who she was as a person.
The family of Renee Good breaking their silence, how they're remembering her in one of their very first TV interviews since her death.
You are watching News Channel 5, part of the Scripps News Group.
All right, welcome back to News Channel 5 this morning. It's 6:10 on this Sunday, and as we look at the Power of 5 radars, yes, we've got some clouds. Yeah, you can see that there are a couple returns that we've been watching here on the Power of 5 radars, but most of this not even reaching the surface. It's hitting that drier air mass, and those droplets are just being gobbled up by that drier air. 53 in Dixon, Camden at 50, 51 in Clarksville. 45 Murfreesboro, 46 in Nashville, Gallatin at 47 degrees. Now, as we go through today, the average high is 58. So it's cooler today than the mid-70s yesterday, but still above normal at 64. Tomorrow in the 50s, and then look at this, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, shooting up into the 70s, flirting with record highs. What about rain chances? Well, we've got those too. I think some decent chances tomorrow, and then on and off chances as we head through much of the upcoming week. A much more detailed check of all of this, Tony, is coming up in just a little bit.
All right, thank you, Henry. It's been 53 days since their daughter was shot and killed on a Minneapolis street in a confrontation with ICE. The family of Renee Good granted their first TV interviews on Friday. Here's CBS News' Matt Gunman with their heartfelt message.
Shame! Shame! Before the video went viral on January 7th, before Renee Good became a household name, her mother got a phone call from her son.
He said, Renee's been shot by an ICE agent. And, she's passed away. She's gone. I think I just said no a whole bunch of times.
Speaking to the media for the first time, Renee Good's parents, Donna and Tim, her brothers, Luke and Brent, say none of it made sense.
Kristi Noem said that this was an act of domestic terrorism. When you heard those words from the secretary's mouth, what was your reaction?
It just doesn't even register. Like, yeah, those words are just so far removed from who she was as a person.
The family considers itself a microcosm of America. Dad, Tim, voted for President Trump.
The president suggested that she was a paid agitator.
Yeah.
Was Renee someone who would have weaponized her vehicle against a federal agent?
No, absolutely not.
To them, Renee was someone who immediately brightened a room.
She made you feel like you were the most important thing in her life, but she could do it to all of us.
And what hurts them most is that they couldn't protect her.
As her dad, my first instinct, I would trade 1,000 times stepping in front of her to protect her.
You would take those bullets?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
1,000 times.
Yeah.
We all would.
Yeah, we all
Everybody
would. Easily.
And not to
Without
be able
question.
to protect her is a hard thing. But that was my first thought.
That you weren't there to protect her.
But ultimately, this family that seems quicker to hug than it is to shout says right now change is more important to them than accountability.
We know something's broken and something needs to be fixed.
Yes.
Because this shouldn't happen. And it certainly shouldn't happen again in such short order after Renee.
Matt Gutman, CBS News.
Yeah, a lot of emotion in that. Thank you so much, Matt. Still to come on News Channel 5 this morning, he survived cancer and now has a very unusual reminder of his battle. We'll tell you about a 3D printing study that gives patients a sense of control as they recover. The time now, 6:16 here in the Storm 5 Weather Center with meteorologist Henry Rothenberg. We're talking cooler conditions than what we had yesterday, which is not fun, considering yesterday was so beautiful.
You know, it was fantastic, and here's the way I'm looking at it. It's March 1st.
Yeah.
Temperatures are still going to be above normal today.
Enjoy
We're just
it.
not flirting with records like we did yesterday.
Gotcha.
About 10 degrees cooler. You've been warned. Doesn't mean stay inside, but just know it won't be as beautiful as it was yesterday. You won't find Tony taking a nap in a hammock over there in Centennial. I'm a little jealous, man, because that was a perfect day for all those folks that have those hammocks to go and enjoy it. Yesterday, 75 degrees. It was close to a record, but the record didn't fall. 39 was low, 58 and 36 are the norms, and 78 and 11 are the records. Here's a look at how things are shaping up for the next 5 days. 58 is our average high, 64 today. Slightly below that tomorrow, 56 degrees, below the average that is. But then we just shoot on up into the 70s, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. What about the rain chances? Yeah, that's the other thing about the week. We're going to start to see off and on rain chances too. But still, with the temperatures and the mild air in place, look at our departure from normal. While today will be about 7 degrees above average, tomorrow a degree or two below it. Look at what happens for the upcoming rest of the forecast period as temperatures are going to soar well above average. So a mild pattern is shaping up. 50 right now, excuse me, in Lebanon. A little bit of wishful thinking right there to get yesterday back, right? We do have some clouds to start. Beautiful view of the sky down here in Franklin from our Skynet site at the Embassy Suites. And the same in Murfreesboro with that color in the skyline. 54 degrees. We are looking at 53 in Dixon, while Portland is at 50, Glasgow 46, 42 in McMinnville, Nashville's at 46, 48 in Crossville, and 43 in Winchester with Fayetteville at 49 degrees. And from the Power of 5 radars, things are quiet, minus a mostly cloudy sky. Yeah, there's a couple returns that are over parts of Putnam County here, but the air is pretty dry, so these droplets aren't actually reaching the surface. Here's Exact Track. As we put this into motion for you, mostly cloudy through much of today, through dinner time. Around midnight, we'll start to bring the rain chances to the area, and that becomes scattered to widespread as we go through tonight and into tomorrow as well. Tuesday, I'll keep about a 10% chance in, but the real story is going to be more of a mostly cloudy sky. And then off and on chances for the upcoming week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I do think later in the week we'll have a few thunderstorms embedded in this activity as well. So that's something that we'll keep an eye on. But going into kind of a unsettled pattern for that first full week of the month of March. Had to think about what month it was for a second. So through the day, temperatures in the 50s to start, 60s by this afternoon. Here's a look at what we can expect in your 7-day. Mid to upper 70s, flirting with those record highs, those low temperatures in the 50s and 60s. We will see partly to mostly cloudy conditions when you don't have the rain chances. But, Tony, all things considered, yeah, it's going to be cooler today, but don't let that stop you from getting outside and enjoying.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Thank you, Henry. Facing surgery, it can be frightening, especially for those diagnosed with cancer. But one health system is working to empower patients with a tangible reminder of their health journey. Our Nikki Hauser takes us inside a lab at Vanderbilt Health, where one team is creating keepsakes with the help of a powerful 3D printer.
Like 72, believe it or not.
Mike Dididio Sr. is a big personality.
I love y'all. Thank you very much.
Not only a former Elvis impersonator, but now a cancer survivor. His throat box was removed in surgery in September, and he now talks through a stoma.
All that yellow is where the cancer was.
What he's showing us now, a 3D printout of his tumor.
It's a keepsake. I keep it on my table at home and look at it every day.
What might be a strange concept, replicating a cancerous mass for patients to then take home, has been at the center of a year-long study at Vanderbilt.
I look at it every day.
Mike was one of 25 patients in a study aimed at learning whether 3D tumor printouts improve a patient's experience.
This is amazing.
Design engineer Brent Griffith explains how it all works after the mass is removed in surgery and then dyed with color.
They'll scan it, they'll send it to me. Obviously, I will take that and I'll put it into this software. This is the software that goes and controls that machine right there.
While this printer takes 3 to 24 hours to make a printout, Dr. Toff, the lead of the study, and Dr. Kobayashi, Michael's surgeon, tell me the results have been impressive.
Mostly positive, yeah. I would say 75 to 80% of patients have really liked the models and felt empowered by the models. It helps them understand their anatomy, both before surgery and after surgery. It helps them understand their disease process.
And I think that any way that you can kind of make things a little bit more clear in this space that can be very abstract to the general population is hugely important.
They believe the 3D version of their tumor also helps patients take better care of themselves after surgery. And for some, it becomes an empowering reminder of what they overcame.
And just visually knowing that it moved to save my life, that's what makes me so happy.
Mike's big personality and love for Elvis, not soon to be forgotten around the hospital.
How often did that come up in conversation for when you were working with him?
Pretty much every single time.
Yep.
Nor will his gratitude for surviving his cancer.
I'm just glad that I'm here and able to talk and be in this interview with y'all. And I'm just happy I'm still alive.
Nikki Hauser, News Channel 5.
Yeah, those doctors say they hope to expand the program beyond head and back cancer patients and envisions Vanderbilt utilizing 3D printing much more in the future. Still to come on News Channel 5 this morning, seemingly small events can affect some kids in a big way. We'll tell you what you should say and not say to your deeply feeling child in those tense moments. Most American adults worry that their food and water could expose them to toxic chemicals. That's according to a new survey of 5,000 adults from the Pew Charitable Trust. About 5 in 6 respondents say they'd like the government to do more to protect them. That desire crosses party lines and age ranges. The survey is part of Pew's new Safer Chemicals project. Now, there's a lot going on in the world, and sometimes children have big reactions to seemingly little triggers. Those so-called deeply feeling kids often take longer to calm down because they absorb the world in bigger ways. Clinical psychologist Dr. Becky Kennedy shares some ways to address big emotions in your little ones.
The first step is always saying very little, maybe nothing to a kid, and actually using our energy to try to do more to ourselves. Hold on. I'm the parent. Let me take a moment. And then what we're doing is we're not adding more fuel to their emotional fire.
Dr. Becky says it's important not to dismiss your child's feeling by calling them dramatic or offer lectures and explanations. She offers more tips in her book, Leave Me Alone, a good inside story about deeply feeling kids. Coming up in the next half hour of News Channel 5 this morning, mixed reactions this morning on the ongoing strikes in Iran. While some are celebrating, protesters in one part of the world actually stormed a U.S. consulate. And the tax deadline will be here before you know it. Avoid headaches and save some of your money with this free tax service.
Some incredible sunrises like the one behind me in Murfreesboro going on right now. We'll talk about that and more next on News Channel 5 this morning.